Mountain Dew has released a ton of flavors throughout the years, including the more popular ones like Code Red, Baja Blast and Voltage, and some other obscure ones like Mountain Dew Red, Doritos, and Johnson City Gold. Each of these flavors try to be as unique as possible, considering Dew wants to give fans a new experience each time they credit never before seen Dew. And while this has proved to be successful time and time again, and has led to awesome flavors like the multiple Baja flavors and the Voodoos, they can't all be zingers. So in this video, we'll be talking about the most controversial Mountain Dew flavors, including their history, and why they're so divisive among fans. Just for the record, some of these discussed flavors will be a lot more controversial compared to their other sugary counterparts, but they will still be brought up regardless. Also, I'll try my hardest to do this in chronological order, as certain flavors released years apart were controversial for similar reasons, so just bear with me on that. Anyways, let's go all the way back to October 2004, the month and year Mountain Dew released their new grape flavored variant, Pitch Black, just in time for Halloween. Now you might be thinking, since grape isn't a soda flavor that many enjoy, fans probably didn't really like this one and consider it one of the worst flavors, but it's actually quite the opposite. Fans love this flavor so much that they created outcries because of their love for this drink. After 2004, Pitch Black saw a re-release in 2005, although this was more of a new flavor release rather than a re-release since this drink was called Pitch Black 2, and in 2011 as part of their Backed by Popular Demand offer. But everything changed in 2016. Mountain Dew had a contest known as Decision 2016 that year, where they released Baja Blast and Pitch Black into stores, and fans could vote on which flavor they wanted to stay on store shelves permanently. After all was said and done, Pitch Black was the victor and stayed on store shelves permanently, and by that, I mean it lasted until about 2019. Yeah, Pitch Black wasn't doing too hot in sales, so Mountain Dew discontinued Pitch Black nationwide, leaving only a select few convenience stores in the Midwest receiving new bottles of Pitch Black, and even then, that all ended in 2021. Just for the record, Pitch Black wasn't the only flavor to be nationally discontinued, as Whiteout, another flavor that was voted to be a permanent addition to the Mountain Dew lineup, suffered the same fate, although the outcry for that discontinuation was nowhere near as loud as Pitch Black's discontinuation. Speaking of which, as you can imagine, since Mountain Dew said it would be permanent and then later discontinued it, some fans were pretty mad with that decision and went on the internet to vent their frustrations. Some even claimed Mountain Dew could be sued for false advertising for them discontinuing Pitch Black after the Decision 2016 announcement. Speaking of which, there's claims that Decision was rigged. Pitch Black cans didn't say for a limited time only, while the Baja Blast cans did. And a former Pepsi employee known as G-Up even mentioned how he saw Pitch Black cans that claimed the drink was the winner even before the contest was over. Pitch Black saw a limited store release in early 2023 and was available at 7-Eleven soda machines from August 2024 to July 2025, where it was replaced with Infinite Swirl. To this day, there are still posts made by Pitch Black fans crying about their beloved dark flavor. Okay, so this next section is going to be in relation to a couple of vastly different flavors released from 2016 to 2018. And it's not because the flavors themselves were controversial, rather a radical change that came out of the blue. You see, it all started in the holiday of 2016 with the release of Game Fuel Mango Heat and the re-release of Citrus Cherry. Mountain Dew started to experiment with what is known as half-sugar ingredients, substitutes for sugar, so their drinks would have less sugar, but still preserve as much flavor as possible. A lot of fans were displeased at this because, while it was slightly healthier, it took a hit on how good the flavors were, considering the formula had been changed significantly. You know, after New Coke, you think soft drink companies would be incredibly paranoid about changing even the smallest aspect of their drink's flavor, but I guess Mountain Dew saw some kind of opportunity during this time. Mountain Dew fans knew their soda wasn't healthy, and they didn't want it healthier. They wanted their full sugar concoction like real Americans. Personally, I had to get used to the half sugar formula because, at first, it tasted nowhere near as good as other Dews, and it burned my throat a little, but after drinking it over and over again, I got used to the new formula, and my esophagus was no longer bothered by the sweet solution. Still, it would have been nice if we could have tried some of these flavors in their full potential, considering the half sugar stuff no doubt anchored how good they could have been. Well, fans made it clear they weren't happy with the half sugar ingredients. So, past a certain point in 2018, Mountain Dew dropped the half sugar stuff, and every flavor from then on was full sugar, except one, but that'll be for later. For my research, it seems Iced Cherry was the last flavor to have the half sugar stuff with it. And this is a great segue into our next flavor, Mountain Dew Ice. Mountain Dew Ice released in early 2018 as a lemon lime spin on the iconic citrus drink, and the company had so much faith in their new innovation that they made it a permanent addition to their soft drink lineup. No one liked it. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but the truth is, the vast majority of Dew fans didn't look at ice in a positive light. For one, the flavor was severely disappointing. Not only did it not taste like a Mountain Dew flavor, not only did it not have that electric spark, delicious flavor and kick other Dew creations had, but it also tasted like every other lemon lime soft drink on the market, which is kind of an insult to drinks like Sprite and Sierra Mist, cause they definitely tasted better than ice because they didn't have that half sugar stuff majority of Dew fans disliked. Mountain Dew Ice sold poorly in the US, and as such, was completely discontinued in 2020. As I mentioned before, Ice Cherry came out in late 2018, and funny enough, Ice was gonna get a full sugar reformulation and other flavor variants somewhere down the line, but I guess since sales were low and reception was awful, Mountain Dew canceled these plans. From 2017 to 2022, Mountain Dew experimented with flavors based on the festive holidays of December, starting with Holiday Brew in 2017. This flavor doesn't seem to be that decisive among fans, or at least that's what I see because I hardly ever see fans talking about this flavor. Hell, I remember skipping this flavor when it first came out because not even the flavor description seemed tasty. It was just a combination of the original Mountain Dew and Code Red, so there really isn't a lot to talk about this one. Mountain Dew got things right in 2018 when they introduced Merry Mashup, which was a well-executed cranberry flavor that was just sweet enough, and in my opinion, one of the most unique tasting dews ever. And since fans responded well to this one, it came back again in 2019 and 2020. In 2021 though, Mountain Dew was feeling adventurous with their holiday flavor, so they introduced Snapped, which was gingerbread flavor. If that sounds kinda disgusting, just know it could have been worse because the original color of this drink was brown like gingerbread, but since it looked like liquid dookie, it was later changed to a white color to represent the frosting on gingerbread cookies, I think. Anyways, the flavor itself wasn't that bad. It was more of a citrusy flavor with a bit of a gingerbread aftertaste, so all things considered, this drink could have been way worse, but still, it was an odd flavor choice. If you thought Snap was bad, in 2022 there was Fruitquake, which was fruitcake flavored. With that description in mind, and one look at this photo, I'm sure you all know this one wasn't great either. Whenever I think about this flavor, I remember the voice messages my friends left me after I showed them the first test bottles for Fruitquake back in the middle of 2022.
Boy, Jacob, that shit gotta taste like absolute dog shit, man. I ain't even gonna front with you. That shit looks like it tastes like my fucking left asshole.
Fruitcake flavor, bro. That shit looks like dog shit, bro. That literally looks like somebody pissed their fucking malnourished piss in a bottle, bro. That looks like somebody ain't drank water for fucking 3 years and then took a piss of their fucking alcoholic piss in there, bro. Come on now.
Just like Snap though, it really wasn't that bad. It just had an awful presentation. The flavor tasted like a mixture of red apples and cherries, which weren't strong enough, and a little bitter in my opinion, so yeah, while it wasn't horrible, it wasn't outstanding either. Mountain Dew has even gone on record stating this flavor as a fluke as well. Speaking of which, Fruitquake was the last of these weird holiday flavors. I guess Mountain Dew lost faith that people would keep trying these flavors because they were so weird, people just had to try them. So, in late 2023, they played it safe and re-released one of their most beloved flavors, Game Fuel Citrus Cherry, which was just fine by me. Funny enough, leaks from 2022 showed Mountain Dew was considering releasing another holiday flavor in 2023 called Cobra Cane, which was a peppermint berry mixture. That doesn't sound that great of a flavor to me, but I betcha it would have tasted better than Snapped and Fruitquake, but I guess the world may never know. Let's stick around this time period for a little longer because next we had the most popular controversial Mountain Dew flavor ever, Flamin Hot. This drink tasted exactly how you think it would, a burning sensation with the flavor of cough syrup. Yeah, It was really bad, and it sold poorly too. There were stores that were selling this hot boy for less than $1, just trying to make some kind of money off of it. I think Mountain Dew was betting on people trying the drink just to see how awful it was, and while a lot of people did that, they stopped drinking it after their first sip, so there was no chance that they would keep buying it again and again for as long as it remained on store shelves. Seriously, did they really think this flavor was going to be a successful limited time offer? Here's the thing, the Flamin Hot Dew vast majority of people are familiar with wasn't the first release of this flavor. In 2021, Flamin Hot originally dropped for purchase only on the Dew store, and those that tried both it and the store release claim the original had a totally different flavor, comparable to a cinnamon flavor. Why Dew decided to change the formula, we may never know, but it certainly wasn't for the better. Speaking of which, this Dew store release was also pretty controversial among those that tried to buy it because, as fans were trying to get their hands on the hot flavor, the Dew store kept glitching and freezing, meaning only a select number of those that tried to buy Flaming Hot were able to do so. I was there as it happened, and let me tell ya, when I saw in the Dew Drinker Discord that there was no more Flamin' Hot, well, I wasn't really that distraught, but still, I can only imagine all the other fans that were on the website as soon as it dropped and tried their hardest to get Flamin' Hot, only for the website to crap out on them. Speaking of the Dew store, there's one more flavor I'd like to discuss in relation to it. Before the Dew store release of Flamin' Hot, there was Cake Smash, which is exactly what it sounds like, a birthday cake flavored Mountain Dew. Before we talk about the flavor profile, Cake Smash was only available to certain zip codes around the US, meaning some that wanted to try the flavor couldn't do so because Mountain Dew wasn't willing to ship it to them for some reason. Besides that, the flavor itself was also pretty bad, but to be fair, I don't think such an idea could ever work, so I really shouldn't have raised my standards for such a drink. Just for the record, Mountain Dew finally fixed their Dew store drops when they released the third drop, Typhoon. I don't mean to self-promote or anything, but I have a pretty cool video on the Typhoon Dew store release that I think many Dew fans would find interesting, so go check it out if it sounds like something you might enjoy. You remember how I said I'd try and keep this video in chronological order, but that might be hard for certain sections? Well, we need to go back to 2004 real quick for some context on this next section. In 2004, Mountain Dew and Taco Bell partnered up to make a drink that would enhance the flavor of Taco Bell's food, so they came up with the ever so famous Baja Blast. Why is this important? Well, it's never been proven. I have a feeling that since this collaboration did so good, other companies saw the success of Baja Blast and wanted in on the action. So they contracted Mountain Dew to create an exclusive flavor for their stores you couldn't get anywhere else. Just for the record, that's how store exclusive flavors work. The company licenses Mountain Dew to make a flavor and not the other way around. Anyways, there's two flavors that caused some controversy among Dew fans after they were announced due to their exclusivity. In 2020, Mountain Dew Uproar was leaked on the Dew Drinker Discord as an upcoming berry kiwi flavor that people could only get at Food Lion. Here's the thing, Food Lion is only in like 10 states, all of which are in the southeastern region of the US. And for what I read, they're also really bad at stocking new products, so fans were not pleased with this exclusive Dew because a lot of them couldn't get it without using a third-party service to deliver it to them. And for those that were near a Food Lion, who knows how long it would have taken for it to be in stock. Just for clarification, the majority of store exclusive flavors are at nationwide franchises that just about every state has, like Walmart, Dollar General, and 7-Eleven. So for there to be an exclusive that was only purchasable in a fifth of the country upset a lot of fans. In 2025, history repeated itself because Mountain Dew released a Honeydew flavor exclusive to Maverick in Maverick-owned locations, which can only be found in 21 states, most of which being in the western part of the US, so the outcry mostly came from fans on the East Coast. Real quick, I want to give an honorable mention to Peach Madness, which was going to be a peach flavored Dew exclusive to Wawa stores, but it was ultimately canned. For whatever reason, it seems that peach flavored Dew is just doomed to exist. Anyways, Wawa is only available in 10 states, and they're really only abundant in northwestern US and Florida for some reason. But in any case, if this flavor did release, I have no doubts it would have caused some outcry from fans that were mad they weren't near a Wawa. Okay, while this next entry isn't a Mountain Dew flavor, I still wanted to bring it up considering it had its fair share of controversy among Dew fans, and that is the new 2025 redesign. Not every fan of Mountain Dew embraced the new designs with open arms, with many disgruntled at the absence of the mascots and edgy cool look with the previous artworks. There were also accusations that the new designs were made by AI, but it seems those rumors are untrue because an artist known as Froyo Tam claimed the new logo as theirs on X and on their LinkedIn as well. This person's LinkedIn also claims they are Pepsi's senior motion designer, so I guess that would involve creating new logos. It seems, however, Mountain Dew is using AI for a few things regarding this new art direction, because the ice cream truck on the Summer Sparkler artwork is clearly AI with its odd discrepancies, and the same thing could be said for this background of Summer Freeze. The most recent Mountain Dew, as of this video, is the Trolli Sour Worm candy flavor. You see, Mountain Dew and Trolli are partnering up this year to create a Mountain Dew based on Trolli's iconic sour candy, and fans were pretty excited when they saw the leaks regarding the flavor, but then later down the line, news broke that the flavor was only going to be zero sugar. Now, Mountain Dew had done a lot of releases in the past where they would release the standard version of a flavor alongside a zero sugar version, or in some cases, the zero sugar version came later, but this is the first time they will release just the zero sugar version of a flavor without a full sugar alternative. This caused some outcry in the Dew Drinker Discord, with some members defending said decision by arguing a full sugar version would be way too sour or rich for anybody to drink. On a similar note, Mountain Dew had plans to do this exact same thing with Game Fuel Citrus Cherry later this year, as in only releasing a zero sugar variant, but since they couldn't secure a game partnership deal, those plans fell through, and it seems there will be no returning or new Mountain Dew flavor for holiday 2025. Alright, before I end this video, I just want to go through a few flavors that have mixed opinions among fans. They're nowhere near as controversial as our previous flavors, but I still wanted to bring them up, and why there's a bit of a split on them in the community. Liberty Brew claimed to be a combination of 50 flavors, but most fans say it just tastes like gummy candies. Frostbite had this sick-ass shark design. It was seemingly a honeydew flavor, but a lot of fans remarked that it wasn't very strong, certainly not strong enough to be a Mountain Dew variant. I saw a person claim Frostbite tasted like a carbonated berry Gatorade flavor, and as someone who's tasted it before, I think that's the best description of it. Those that drank Major Melon believed the melon flavor was too strong and not worthy of a permanent spot on the Dew lineup. Mountain Dew Baja Gold tasted too similar to another pineapple flavor called Maui Burst, which is a permanent flavor at the time, and still is a permanent flavor, so fans weren't thrilled to have two similar pineapple flavors at the same time. Mountain Dew Mango Gem, similar to Frostbite, was criticized for not having enough flavor or kick that comes with most other Mountain Dew flavors. Well, that's every quote-unquote controversial Mountain Dew flavor so far. Of course, we got some widely talked about flavors like Pitch Black and Flamin Hot that many Dew fans and non-Dew fans know about, and some other parts of Dew history that, while aren't forgotten, certainly don't get too much discussion about, such as the half sugar or holiday flavors era. In any case, it was cool for a Dew fan like me to go back in time and remember where I was as these flavors were releasing. I remember seeing all the rumors for these flavors before they were released and imagining what they tasted like, and then going on Reddit and the Dew Drinker Discord to see what other fans thought about the new flavors after I had tried them. Well, that's everything I had to say about these crazy Mountain Dews. Have a good day, and let me know which of these flavors were your favorite and which Dew do you think is the most controversial.